Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about sloppy borders and how to add sloppy border effects to images and your design. Before I proceed, I just want to say that rarely do we actually use sloppy borders in our designs. We actually are not big fans of sloppy borders, but some photographers and some brides do occasionally request for these effects, and so that's why we have tools to help make it easier to use sloppy borders on the images. Okay, the prerequisite is that you download a folder called sloppy borders from our FTP server, and inside you will see these templates of various sloppy border frames that you'll be utilizing in your design. Okay, so let's go bring up Photoshop. Um, in Photoshop, we have this image loaded already, and let's just say we want to add a sloppy border. So what we do is we run the action add sloppy border. Make sure that the layer selected is the image layer that we want. We hit run, and immediately what it'll do is you should navigate to the sloppy borders folder where all your sloppy borders are, and you should change your view to thumbnail view so that you can actually preview what the sloppy borders look like. And so let's just say you say, okay, I'm going to select this one, click open, and what happens is immediately it will size that border to approximately the same size as your photo edge. Now, if you want to make any adjustments here, you can just do a transform tool on it and automatically transform the size of the sloppy border. Otherwise, if you're okay with it, just click anywhere else outside a window, and it will set the border in. If you look at your layers menu, you will see that the sloppy border is actually a layer mask effect. That means if you don't like it or if you need to change it, you can easily just remove it without affecting the original picture. So just with that simple operation, we can add a sloppy border to this photo. Okay. Um, Now there are different ways you can apply the sloppy borders. Right now, for the example that we are showing here, you see the sloppy border occupying all four edges of the photo, which is fine. But let me show you another effect. So I'm going to take away this sloppy border. Um, and let's say that the photo occupies um, the top, bottom, and left edge of the page, and we just want a sloppy border effect on the right edge over here. Um, the 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 procedure is the same. We choose our add sloppy border action. We hit run. We select the appropriate sloppy border. Let's do this one again. We click open, and you notice how it right now it sizes everything around the whole photo. Well, we can do a control T or command T and then resize the sloppy border so that we are hiding the top, bottom, and left portion of it until we only see a portion on the right hand side. Okay, so again, this is interesting because now you only have one edge of the photo as a sloppy border, and this can help add some diversity into your design. Okay. Um, Next, I'm going to show you another alternative way to use sloppy border. So I'm going to delete this current one. Hold on, let me bring in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a sequence of photos. So let's just say that I'm going to place in 3 consecutive photos. So I'm going to use my place image command here. So we're going to do it across here. We'll place the image. So for this effect, we're going to have 3 images across. Now what we're going to do is we're not going to add sloppy borders to the images themselves. What we're going to do is we're going to add a layer behind here, and let's just say we're going to add a solid background layer here, and we're going to paint it the color of, let's try to match the color from the umbrella here. Okay. Now you see this rectangular block that we painted behind here. We're going to add a sloppy border to this rectangular block instead of the photos themselves. That way, you're not the effect of the sloppy border is much less intense than as if they were applied on the photos themselves. So let's take a look at how this looks. So, oops, sorry. So we're going to execute the add sloppy border to the color rectangular block there. We're going to choose an appropriate sloppy border, and we hit apply. And notice we have to resize this a little bit to make it fit. But you can see how this is an interesting effect, and you might have to just size it manually without the proportions. And you can sort of see now how this is interesting, right? You're not actually applying the sloppy border to the photos themselves, and perhaps you can even maybe add a white border. Let's add a white stroke around here. Stroke the images here. Add a white stroke so it shows up more. And so you can see here, it's a nice, interesting effect, and it gives a sloppy border edge without having it placed directly on the photos themselves. So as you're designing your albums that require sloppy borders, pay attention to how the previous designs were done, and sort of try to simulate as best as you can how the photographer likes the borders and things like that. A lot of things you can do with this, so play around with it. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to email us, okay? Thank you.